All praises. All right. Well, welcome to another episode of the Covenant Brothers Podcast, where we talk about what's happening right now as a backdrop and the Word of God, the solution. I am one third of the brothers, Rashiah, the husband that loves husbandry. And with me this Sabbath, I got my brothers, all right, the father to the fatherless, King, and Mr. Code Air Prophecy himself, D. Shalom, brothers. Happy Sabbath. What's going on?
Hey, shalom. Happy Sabbath, man.
A lot of stuff happening in the world today. We're going to talk about it. But before we get started, we always want you to make sure that you're locking in with the Covenant Brothers. Make sure you're following us on IG, all right, for all of your information. Make sure that you're following us on Facebook as well. We're dropping live on Facebook. Make sure that you're also looking out for us. If you got questions, those answers for you, info@thecovenantbrothers.com. That is, again, info@thecovenantbrothers.com. If you got questions, we have you come on. We'll deal with you. We have our brothers. We love to go through the scriptures, and we bear with our people. All praises. So we got an action-packed show for you today, this Sabbath. We got a couple topics we want to get into. This one, ID, first we're going to talk about. I think it's kind of trending a little bit in the news. But before we get started, man, I want to find out what's up with y'all brothers, man, before we get started. Talk to me.
Oh, man, all praise. I had a beautiful Passover, man. Sat down with the family, got into the scriptures, went over Jeremiah 23:7, that it will no longer be said how he brought us out of Egypt, but how he's going to gather us from the north country and all the places we were scattered. So just going over that with the children and keeping it in the forefront of their mind that this is our Independence Day. And man, it's a beautiful thing. I was watching my wife preparing the house for the Passover, removing the leaven the days prior. And
Right.
it's a beautiful thing to watch her, because Christ said, if ye love me, keep my commandments. And he told us this do in remembrance of me. So for me, man, not getting caught up in the affairs and the things of the world and actually doing what Christ commanded us to do, man, making our calling and election sure. So it felt good just to have the household in order, man, and keeping the Passover and watching other brothers and sisters scattered throughout the diaspora, keeping the Passover. And of course, we believe the full moon is the new moon in the 14th day, and just having it dialed in that this is actually time we walked up out of Egypt, and we're looking forward to when the Most High gathers from all these places we were scattered to and coming from up under these curses. That's another thing, man. Oppression does make a wise man mad, man.
It does.
So just seeing what's going on with our people and their mentality. One of my prayers a long time ago, man, I wanted to become a better listener. You know what I mean? Observation, listener. And to become a better listener, you have to close your mouth and be observant, because you learn more through listening. So I can see you can discern, like the scripture says, it's a discerner of the intents of the heart. When you start having Bible discussions with people, you could tell where their mind and heart is at. I was sharing the Passover with a guy I know, and he says he's always going to keep Christmas and some other pagan holiday, Valentine's. And see, Christ told us, he that loveth mother, sister, father more than him is not worthy of him. So this brother has the understanding, but he still keep those traditions to be with his family. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's not a leader. To be a leader, bro, you got to step out from what's trending or popular and do what you know is right. Some that's tough for them to do.
Absolutely.
And this is an aged man. This is not a young man. This is a man of got some years on the earth, and supposed to be able to lead his home. What kind of man will allow see his household going in the wrong direction and to be okay with it? That's kind of I mean, it's no good, bro. That's no good. You know what you're doing is wrong, and you claim you love these people, but you'll lead them in the wrong direction.
Right.
I'm saying I can't be around people like that, man. I'll be by myself before I be with some people that's going. I can't call you my partner and let you believe a lie and lead you in the wrong direction, man.
Right.
It just ain't in me to do that. I had to just get away from them people, separate myself, man.
Oh, praise King. What say you about that, man? I know that the holiday is here. We talked about what they call a holiday, but we celebrate Passover. We know it's the 14th day. We know that it's the month of Abib. We know that it's the beginning of New Year's. We know that a lot of times we talked about in the past episodes, we talked about those traditions of men, man. And keeping those traditions of men. ID kind of alluded to it when the brother said that he will keep the Passover, but he want to keep Easter. He still want to keep, what's the other one? Christmas and Valentine's Day, man. So what's up? What you would say you about our brothers, man? What about the leadership overall, about our men? Because that's it's definitely a focal point for the nation.
Yeah, it's like the conversation. It's like the worldly conversation that they have. Who came first, the chicken or the egg? The
Right.
reason I say that is because the women nowadays, bro, and it's ever so present to me after having so many young men over my house. Some demonic woman raised that man that was talking, bro. That some demonic woman raised him, and I know, like I said, the argument comes, where they ask, who's the more wicked, if you will, or who's supposed to sit down or stand up first, and all of that crap. The point is some wicked woman raised that man to believe to think like that,
Right.
and the reason I expound on the wickedness of the woman, not to take away from him the wickedness of him, but it's because again I have young men over my house, and I see so many female traits in these young men, bro.
Right.
And I talked to a young lady yesterday. She said she walked past me. I went to go support another young lady in the program, and because she was cooking dinners, and I told all of the parents go ahead and get the food, the money ready, so you can support the young lady. Let's because it's like a small community I have in my program. All praises. And a young lady walked in the house that we were getting the food from after we arrived, and I looked at her. I'm like, damn, she looked familiar. And she sat down. I went outside, came back in. She said, hey, you know me, King. I'm like, oh, where I know you from? And she said, I'm DV's child's mother, and DV is Delvon. Delvon is a longtime friend
Okay.
from back in the day. We used to do very wicked things together. Very wicked things. Very, very wicked things. Demonic things. Things that I stand against today as far as destroying our community. And they said that she said that, hey, well, he went back to jail. I ain't gonna expose too much of our conversation. She said he went back to jail, and I'm like, because he didn't like where he was at. I think they have him in a halfway house or something. But
Hmm.
the point that I'm trying to make is she said that she has a 16-year-old son with him, and I'm like, well, how is he doing? She said he's doing the same thing that his dad is doing, like literally.
Mm.
And she said there's no getting it out of him. He don't want to hear nothing. And I'm like, nah. At 16,
Especially. Right.
especially at 16, ain't no getting it out of him. It's over with, bro. So with that said, man, I know I rambled, but yeah, man, we live in this time where we're or we've always lived in a lot of times like this, but yeah, we're destroyed, man, and a lot has to do with the single parent households as far as the women go, and the Negroes that don't want to stand up and take responsibility,
Right.
and just at the very least attempt to be a man.
Right. And that man that we speaking of is just, hoping for, those that are listening, just understanding that you're taking your place, your rightful position. Your rightful position is the leader of your household. As the leader of your household, you need to be instructing your household in the right direction. Is it always going to be right all the time? No, but your goal is to keep your house focused on a certain direction. And that what our direction is, the straight and narrow. That is the way of the most that he gave Christ. So that's our way. And that's the way we implore you to take, because you're black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian. You are the chosen. You are the people of the book, and you are required to keep the commandments, because those are the ones that he made a covenant with and a sacrifice according to his law. So those are the ones he made covenant with. Those are the ones where expectations are needed. So we're going to get into today's show. First topic of discussion, ID. Let's bring it.
Okay.
Now I know this one before we bring it up. I know we were talking before. For those that don't have seen it in the news, again, we like to kind of use things that are going on today as a backdrop, and we kind of use the word of God to kind of pick apart these things that we see as a backdrop for our people to understand what you should and what you shouldn't be doing. Correction
Mm-hmm.
is necessary for our people, whether you believe it or not. We're here at the Covenant Brother. We talk about it all the time. If you don't correct me, then you don't love me. And I know that sounds a little crazy for some, but that's the way that it is. The Lord loveth the one he chasteneth if he loves. So if you're getting any type of pushback from the Most High, I know I get it all the time. I don't know about y'all brothers, but I know when I'm getting out of order, man, the Lord he deal with me swiftly. Things don't go right, stuff happen. That's just how it is. So I just never had that ability to do that. So we use these topics as a backdrop for our sisters and our brothers to understand what you should and shouldn't do. And this is one of these topics right here. Go ahead, ID.
Well, before I read this, it used to be a saying that a picture speaks 1,000 words, man. And you see
Mm-hmm.
that little caption in red, the little end caption in red. She has a bathing suit, the glasses on her head. The president of Jamaica banned that hairstyle with them baby
Mm.
hairs on the forehead. It's a
Oh,
certain
really?
mentality. Yeah, yeah. We brought that out in a later class. It's
Mm.
a, it's a certain mentality that goes along with that look. And this appears to be a sister, maybe late 20s, close to 30, with the older Caucasian fella here. And look like they're sitting at an event. But the caption reads, updates. Ashley Janae and her fiance got into an intense dispute and was placed in separate rooms while on vacation in Tanzania. Her fiance claims he found her hung in the closet, but waited 11 hours to contact authorities or her family. And I'm going to
Mm.
go to the next slide. Uh,
I
so
think on the third. I think on the third page, it's kind of it's a whole fourth page. I'm sorry, one more page. It kind of
uh-huh.
does the whole breakdown. There we
we
go.
we had a brother in the congregation went to Tanzania, man. Official statement from the family of Ashley Robinson, April 12th. Ashley Robinson was on what should have been one of the happiest trips of her life, a birthday celebration in Zambar, Africa. Ashley's birthday was April 5th. She just turned 31. Surrounded by beautiful love, wildlife, she became engaged during a safari, an unforgettable moment that marked the start of a future she was so excited to build. She and her fiance, Joe McCann, were staying in a luxury villa in the Zuri, Zanzibar, continuing what we believe was her dream trip. But just days later, the dream was turned into the family's worst nightmare. Ashley was found unconscious in her villa and was rushed to a local hospital where her death was confirmed hours later. Nothing about this loss feels real. One moment she was celebrating life, celebrating love and life in truly Ashley fashion, and the next she was gone. The suddenness, the unanswered questions, and the distance from home have made this tragedy even more overwhelming for our family. At this time, there is an active investigation into the circumstances surrounding Ashley's suspicious passing. Although we have many questions, we are placing our trust in the officials in Zanzibar and are working closely with them as we seek clarity and answers. Ashley was deeply loved. She was vibrant, full of life, and had so much ahead of her. Our family is completely devastated, and we appreciate the prayers and the compassion we have received as we navigate through this unimaginable loss. We respectfully ask that any information not directly provided by our family be treated as unverified and not considered factual at this time.
And that's good they made that statement. I know it's a lot, but when you look at this, ID, what say you about this, man? It's a lot in this, a lot to me to pick off this bone here.
You know, I don't know about this sister as far as her background and the family structure, but I would strongly disapprove of my daughter dating someone like this
Right.
and allowing him to take her to a foreign country. So this
And
guy, he didn't. I guess he doesn't have a statement. I don't know what he does for a living.
right.
The first screen we said they had a dispute. I wonder what the dispute or the argument was about. And they said that she found her hung herself in a closet, or she was found hanging in a closet. So
Suspicious, huh? Because you would think like they said that she's supposed to be one of the happiest days in Zanzibar. You on a trip to Africa. We know how we hear women all the time talking about it. Where you want to go. All the first place they say they want to go a lot of times is Africa. Um,
yeah, and
I
she
don't know
went
how
back.
y'all feel about it, but go ahead. What
Right.
you saying?
Well, the thought was, she went back to Africa with the colonizer. We know our history. We came from the west coast of
There you
Africa.
go.
She chose to return back with the colonizer, and she met her death there. So it's a lot of when you sit back and examine it and kind of chew the cud on what happened, and you understand the scriptures and mixing with these other nations, and I guess he would like to paint it as a suicide.
Suicide.
That's probably he wants to say they were arguing. She was upset and hung herself in the closet. Yeah.
Another thing that they say was odd too is they said something about, and I'm just trying, because a lot of times when I read this stuff, man, I try to look at it in steps on, what makes sense, perspective. And I know they were saying that they were in a luxury hotel and they had to be separated. So my thing is I've seen I've been in hotels, I've seen a lot of disputes. And when disputes are happening in a hotel, hotels don't take the 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 notion to go and separate y'all. They would literally call the police and put both of y'all out. So that seemed a little odd to me in itself, but this is Africa. I don't know how some of the rules are in Africa. I don't know how they handle international things like this in Africa. If they have police, crime scene investigation, who is answering these questions? It seems to be a lot. King, what say you on this, bro?
Let's go back a step. Let's see. Okay, let's go back a step, man. Hey, Rashad, where is that at? Where's with Job's sons was? They were celebrating their day.
Their day.
Their day. It said they
Definitely
were
in Job. Let me get it.
in Job. It was their day or something like that. It's something like that. Yeah, the first two ID. Yeah, those. You can put that one up. Yeah. Because I would rather read the scripture first than before I read this.
Okay, so you want the scripture? All right, let me get it right now. So
yeah, you know what I say, ID?
Yeah, it's Job 1. I got you.
Oh, it's Job 1? Okay, I thought it was Job 2.
When they were all celebrating their day.
Yeah.
You see that on the screen?
Yeah, we see it. Can
Job
you go ahead and read that?
1. Job chapter 1 and verse 4. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone his day, and sent
his day, everyone his day, and sent and called for the three sisters to celebrate their day. So what were they doing? They were celebrating their birthdays.
Right.
So we don't have to, well, you can read verse. Go ahead. You could read verse.
And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually.
You understand that? And then we will also read where it states that the son would no longer, or the father would no longer bear the iniquity of the son or the children. But with that said, we have to realize this one thing, man, that birthdays have never been a part of our customs. I'm not saying that the young lady met her death date for that reason. It looks like she was in sinful nature in general. And I don't want to mock her death at all, man. It's sad that these things happen to our people, and I hate that these things happen to our people, man. My wish is that we all, could be saved, from this wicked enemy and this wicked empire. But with that said, man, it's unfortunate. But I'm gonna use this right now as a so I could teach you guys the edification point, man, that birthdays was never our customs. We never celebrated our birthdays as the people. This is why it's important to know who we are. What is that? Isaiah 1:3, where it said, "Our ox knoweth his owner, and the ass is master's crib."
Yeah.
Right.
And this is why it's important that we know who we are, so we can know our customs, and we could come back to the Creator. And we're gonna talk about that a little later. What book you got up, Adi?
The Satanic Bible, Anton Szandor LaVey.
So this is the Satanic Bible. Let's read the page that I sent you. Let's see what's in the Satanic Bible. Let's see.
Who is a known devil worshiper, for those that don't know who Anton LaVey is.
Yep.
Religious holidays. The highest of all holidays in the Satanic religion is the date of one's own birth. This is in direct contradiction to the holy of holy days of other religions.
You got that? That's it. Now watch this.
Which defieth a particular God who had been created in a anthropomorphic form of their own image, thereby showing that the ego is not really buried. The
Okay.
Satanists feel
That's it on that. Yep, that's it on that. So with that said, can you read that? Can you read that highlighted part again so they don't lose the thought?
the highest of all holidays in the satanic religion is the date of one's own birth.
The highest is the date of one's own birth. We have to remember, y'all. If you don't remember a lot of things, remember these few things, that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the real Israelites. We're the true Jews. And number two, that this was not our custom. Birthdays was not our custom. We never celebrated this. What happened to John the Baptist? He was beheaded because of such a wicked day. Or his head was brought to a young lady because of such a wicked day. I say it like that. So with that said, this is what I have on that, man. You feel me? Like, this is never our custom. It's never our custom to celebrate our birthdays. We were born one time, Rashaya.
Right.
ID. We were literally born once. Why are we celebrating it? What do we have to celebrate anyway? We are literally the last hired, first fired. Literally, we are literally. We literally have more baby mamas than wives, man. What is there to celebrate? What is there to celebrate? Like,
Ain't
come on,
nothing to
bro.
celebrate.
Put in the comments if there's I challenge anybody that's watching this, anybody that see this on YouTube or any of our other platforms, to put in the comments. Give us a reason to celebrate a day of birth. Give us a reason. Give us a reason. Give me a reason. I challenge you.
It's always going to be a selfish motivation. It ain't going to never be nothing. It ain't going to be nothing that will have anything to do with anything outside of anything else but yourself.
Facts.
I want to read this.
It's a worship of yourself.
Just to create.
And for context, before you bring that out, ID, for context, when we're talking about this, we're bringing it out because Ashley Robinson's birthday was a week before she went on the Zanzibar trip. So this could have been the reason why she was in Africa celebrating her birthday.
Well, they said it. It plainly said it that she was celebrating her birthday, right? If that was that was a birthday gift or something, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Another thing, why would he wait 11 hours to report? It sounded like he was doing some damage control and cleaning up the evidence and things of his foul play.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, in Africa, I don't know if they have the same, going through because they were saying leave for the family. Anything that you hear, look at it as, as false information until you heard an official from us. Like, I don't know how they handle things like that of an international person dying on foreign soil.
What is so frustrating? I want to know. I've dealt with. I can't say the word I want to say. I've dealt with. I normally say it to my brother in private. I can't say it on. I don't want to say it on here. I've dealt with women that are demonic. Many women that are demonic. Okay, NBs. I call them NBs. NBs. Okay, I dealt with many NBs. Okay, wicked ones.
Right.
What frustrated you so much to take you to that point? Right. You know what would make me feel better if I was in such, and I'm just speaking for myself. Bruh, I would look for the day to leave you, because if I brought any type of this goodness into your life, the absence of it would be way worse than me putting my hands on you. The absence of all of this stuff that I brought into your life,
right?
I've altered your life in such a way. Now you have to realign your life. You have to realign your life after I leave you. I'm not saying that I'm just the best. No, what I'm saying is what, I guess my question, what frustrates you so much?
Away, right? He could have just walked away. Right.
What makes you so mad that you have to do something to a woman? I don't understand. And it's not even just a woman, anybody for that matter. But it was just Karen outside, right, Rashaya?
Right.
I took the boys down to Houston. And I know this is on different levels. I'm just giving an example here. We took the boys down to Houston, and we were in Kingwood, and we was at the apartment complex. It's like a closed apartment complex, and we're playing in this big old parking lot playing football. I think it's like maybe eight. I took 8 little dudes down there, 7, 8, and we all just having fun, not being too loud. The apartment complex on the 3rd floor, or the apartment on the 3rd floor, which is like condo style apartments. She, black woman, Judite woman, get frustrated, come outside. Hey, you know, just got, man. She tried to get me mad so bad, bro. She couldn't get me mad, bro.
She couldn't get you mad.
Couldn't get me mad. Now, don't get me wrong. Have I done it? Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I've gotten so pissed, and I've almost knocked the head. I probably choked you through the bed. But I'm asking a question: what will drive you to the point where you want to kill this woman, bro?
Right.
Like, come on, bro.
And
I guess I've grown.
Right. You grown, bro. You definitely grown. I've been around you for a long time.
Yeah.
You've grown.
Because Lord knows you couldn't say this to the nigga me. The nigga me wouldn't ask that question because I'm smacking everything all through the wall. You know, but I guess
you said what? Okay. You said
yeah,
what?
come here. Yeah. Catch this right left. But the grown me, you know? Yeah,
But
the mature
another
me, the
thing
laws,
too, I think
the ones in
about
the
is
laws.
the crime of passion, man. What do you I think about like a crime of passion. Like if we think about what can make him that upset, do you think he could have, seeing this lady how she carries herself? Do you think it could have possibly been another, she was dealing with another guy? He just got so mad.
I'm gonna tell you, man. You never know the temperament of a man, man. Yeah,
Right.
I done seen it too. You never know the temperament of a dude, especially when it comes to his old lady, man.
Right.
You never know, man. Hey, a brief short story. A guy was at a party or gathering or some type of gathering. A man came up and complimented his woman. Said, "Hey, man," complimented the woman. Man, she looking real nice, kind of flirtatious way or whatever. He complimented the woman. When the couple got home, the man got pissed off with her that she wore that dress and talking about beat her blue. He didn't have shit to say to the man, but what drove him to that was how the man complimented him at the little gathering they was at. He didn't say shit to the man, but when he got home, he tore into his old lady's ass. And I would have never guessed this man. You never know a dude's temperament, man. So I say that to say, even with this same thing, I have no idea what drove him to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it can be
It's a
anything,
lot.
man. Pissed him off, man. You know what I
It
mean?
pissed him off to a level where, and again, I think we got some. Sissy said in the chat, she said they got him in custody, and they holding his passport, so they definitely have him in custody. He's going to be charged, but I guess they still haven't. I guess they sent a lot of information is still coming out. They don't know, so we'll stay tuned for that. Anybody got any scriptures they want to bring out before we go to the next topic?
I do want to bring this out, man, to create the thought, because
Bring
we read in the Satanic Bible that with the highest holy day, they recognize themselves as a god. We read that in the Satanist Bible. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
I forgot about that. Ooh.
When you leave this place, it's supposed to be a day of celebration, man. And we so twisted that they celebrate the date of one's birth and they sorrowful on the day of one's death. But
they mourn it.
Yeah, they mourning. But if you knew your brother he's going to a better place, you should be looking forward to New Jerusalem. He was keeping the commandments and the faith in Christ. So when you just chew the cud and meditate on that, man, when a person, the day of their death is better than the day of one, because you're born into sorrow here. As an Israelite, you're born into this captivity. You're finna go through a lot of trials and tribulations. But you live a good, godly lifestyle. You lay your burdens down. You have faith in Christ, that you Redeemer, that you go into a better place. And so you kind of happy that spirit endured to the end of what you know of him, and it's better than the day of one's birth. So when you examine the scriptures, there are other scriptures. I'm gonna pull another one just to create the thought in the minds of the listener concerning, and this will give you a better understanding of death also, and some of the customs that we learned here. This birthday custom was one that we learned in the different captivities.
Yeah.
You read about it in 2 Maccabees chapter 6, when we was had to carry the bacchus on the king's birth. But this is Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 14. Cursed be the day wherein I was born. let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. This is
Yeah.
talking about the birthday, the day that he was born. Jeremiah lived during the Babylonian captivity and also a
Yep.
little bit of the Persian Mede. But he had this understanding that the day that you're born into sorrow when you come forth
Right.
out of your mother's womb. So, and this custom was a custom of the other nations. So I want to kind of put the thought in the minds. I'm gonna go to Psalms 106 to read something here.
Bring
When
it
you
out.
learn that this custom is one of the highest holy days of someone who worships Satan, he wants you to worship yourself. This
Exactly.
is Psalms chapter 106, verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned of their work.
Mm-hmm.
You learned
Mm-hmm.
that birthday celebration and you learned the ordinances of it and the statutes of it. You learned to put that thing on your head and blow that little thing and you learned to close your eyes and blow out the candles and make a wish. That's a part of that the Satan ritual. See, you learn you were mingled among the heathen, and while you was mingled among them, you learned of their works. Verse 36. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. That
Mm-hmm.
birthday celebration and find it was a snare.
It's
This
a
is what
snare.
Moses warned us about this. Remember, he said you're going to be mingled among the heathen, you're going to learn of their works, and their works are going to become a snare unto you, a snare and a stumbling block. This is what Moses told us in Deuteronomy chapter 12. Listen to the instructions. This is the instructions Moses was putting down. It says, observe and hear, meaning get ready to observe and listen to these instructions that we're giving you. All these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee. That's what the commandments are for. It's really for your protection.
That's right.
God wants to protect you. He gave you these laws and things to protect you. He gave you a dietary law to keep you away from sickness and disease. But we mingled among the nations and we believe lobster and crab is a delicacy. See, you learned that their works. You took upon their customs and their ways. He said,
Yeah.
observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee forever, when thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of the Lord thy God. What's good and right is keeping the commandments.
That's right.
Verse 30, take heed to thyself and be not a snare by following them. That's what we read in Psalms 106. You will mingle among the heathen. You learned of their ways, and their ways became a snare unto you. That birthday celebration. She wasn't preparing for Passover. April the 5th was the new moon.
That's
I mean,
right.
it was a few days after the
It
new
was a
moon.
few days after, but you on
Mhm.
time. You in the spirit, brother.
She should have been preparing for Passover.
Right.
But she's over here.
Mhm.
She was mingled so much to the other nations, she started dating them and went over there with them to Africa. And now her family is mourning. That's why he said that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee. So her family is mourning because she wasn't taught the ways of the Most High. And it became a snare to her. So, again, just like the brother I was telling who he say he gonna keep Christmas and Valentine, he not putting down order and structure in his home. So when his kids end up, it become a snare to them. This is what
Mhm.
Moses is warning us about. You were mingled among the heathen and you learned of their ways. So the Most
Mhm.
High God is a just God. He's a righteous God. And he put down his judgment, man. He put down his judgment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Let me give you an example on that. Let me give you an example on that right there, bro. All praises. Let's go to Second Maccabees. Second Maccabees 7. An example on that. We read this, I think, in the first episodes.
Yeah. One of our favorite book now.
Yeah, facts.
We be going to Maccabees like every podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
All praises. Bring it up.
Let's read I won't just to bring you up to this is the woman. This is a mother of 7 sons. Go to 21. This is a mother of 7 sons. And this woman, this mother, watched her 7 sons get tortured by King Antiochus because they didn't want to eat unlawful meat. And watch the woman. Watch what the mother did. She didn't celebrate the day of their birth. I'm gonna let the scriptures talk. Go ahead, bro. Verse 21. Watch this.
Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 21. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language.
You hear that? She exhorted in the midst of torment, in the midst of torture. She exhorted them in their own language. Go ahead, bro.
filled with courageous spirits and stirring up the womanish thoughts within a manly stomach. She said unto them,
Woo. Hold on, bruh. Man, the scriptures say she stirred up the womanish.
Right.
Man, you understand that? It said it stirred up her womanish thoughts. She got her womanish thoughts together, and she stomach manly. She stood 10 toes, man.
She
like
got
a
out
man,
of her
man.
emotions.
Not out of her emotions, man. What
Right.
you can't name too many women. My mama could do it now, but can't name too many women that could do that.
Right.
Hey, this while watching her paint the picture. You watching 7 of your sons, 7 of your babies get tortured because they standing up for the King of Kings and say, and I'm gonna keep the laws. I don't want to eat that.
Right.
Now this is what you should be celebrating because these 7 boys got killed. You should be celebrating that thing because these men stood on the laws. We ain't celebrating our birthday. We ain't got nothing to be. Watch what she say about birthdays in verse 22. Watch this.
I cannot tell how ye came into my womb.
She ain't even giving. You understand that? Because most women say, I made you. You came from me.
That's what they say. You came out of mine.
Yeah, you came out of my. You came between my leg. You came out of my. No, this woman said, what did it say? ID. What's that first precept?
Yeah, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb.
She said, I cannot tell you how you did it. In so many words, it wasn't me. Right. Go ahead, man. Watch this.
For I neither gave you breath nor life.
You hear that? Mama, what mama used to say? I gave you
life, right?
I gave you life. This woman gave praises even in the midst of her son being tortured, even in the midst of her son being killed. Gave the praise to the Almighty. This is what you call praise, right? This is what you should be celebrating. Things like this. The keeping of the laws. Read.
Neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. She gave the Creator all the praise. Watch this. Verse 23 is going to prove it.
But doubtless the Creator of the world.
But doubtless, you ain't got to even doubt it. You ain't even got to even think about it. Don't even think about it. The Creator of the world formed you. I didn't. And you stood on that. All praises be to the Creator. Read.
Who formed the generations of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again.
Again. The regeneration. He's going to give you breath and life again. Trust in him. Don't trust in me. Just because you came from my stomach don't mean I gave you life or breath. Don't trust in me. Trust in the Creator. Whole time we got people celebrating wicked ass birthdays. Read what you got, bro.
As ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake.
Woo-hoo-hoo. You rather keep the laws.
Right.
You regarded yourself for the law's sake. You stood 10 toes. You died for something. How many Negroes we know in the hood? We could count just in our family and in our neighborhoods die for nothing. How many niggas we know that wanted to kill us for nothing?
Right.
How many niggas we seen drop that we didn't even know? Friends of friends that died for nothing. And these men died for the Creator's sake, for the law's sake. Man, that's power.
Ain't that the greatest way to go? Wouldn't that be the greatest way to go, though? If you was going to go. I would want to go. That's the way I want to go, man. Oh, you ain't going to keep these laws? Die.
Bye. And how many, remember we read in First Maccabees, remember that a bunch of them died, stayed alive and was alive because they consented to the law of king king.
Right.
And these 7 boys said, I stand 10 toes. Man, oh my goodness. How gracious is it? How amazing is that spirit?
Man.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. All praises. So what are we saying? Does death hurt? Yes, because that's the definition of womanish thoughts. The womanish thoughts is not a weak thought. In that time, it was more of a grief, a disappointment. Like, damn, I won't see my babies again. But then she stomached manly. She stood 10 toes and said, hold on, I'm tripping. Don't let these thoughts take over.
These spirits ain't come from me. These came from
God. And then they must go because I don't know how you made them. I don't have no clue how you was made in the room. I have no clue who gave you breath and life.
Right.
Well, she knew she was saying it rhetorically, but she knew, but she was saying I didn't do it.
Right.
The Creator did it. All praises be unto the
Oh,
Creator.
praise. You got my spirit. You got my stuff turning out. Let's get Romans now. Let's
Do
get
it.
Romans chapter 14, verse 5. Bro, got me going.
All praises be to
I
the
was
Creator.
trying to chill back a little bit, but we got it going. So you get those juices flowing when the word come out. So let's get it. Romans, because we still keeping in that thought, the day. Remember, we talked about your day, how important one day is. It ain't no one day important. You only gonna have one birthday. You was born. I was born August the 14th
That's
of
it.
1979. It ain't gonna never happen again. You ain't gonna never see that day again. And that day was a Tuesday. I don't care if it was next year come around, it ain't gonna be the same day.
That's it.
Romans, what chapter?
14, start at verse 5.
Romans chapter 14 and verse 5. One man esteemeth one day above another. Another esteemeth every day alike.
That's what we do.
Let
The one they say
man,
one man esteemeth one day above another. That's a birthday.
Pressure.
And then it says another esteemeth every day alike. Well, I ain't gonna say every day alike because we understand high holy days, but we understand that the significance of a birthday is nothing. Read.
All praises.
let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind.
I mean, that's why I said that, because we understand what days are important and what days aren't. Verse 6, read.
He that regardeth the day regardeth it unto the Lord.
Right, because when you regard the day, you understand that this is the day the Lord has made. You ain't make this day. The Lord made this day. Read.
And he that regardeth not the day to the Lord, he doeth not regard it.
Because we understand that life is a gift, and it gives you the opportunity to keep these laws and commandments and show yourself approved unto God. You get another opportunity to do that. Read.
He that eateth to the Lord.
You eat it. Whatever you do, you give it unto the Lord. Understand, just like that mother understood, it didn't come from her. It came from the Most High. When you eat unto the Lord. That's why we bless our food. Read.
For he giveth God thanks. And he that eateth not to the Lord, he eateth not and giveth God thanks.
Right. So it means whether you eat or you don't eat, I'm going to give God thanks no matter what. Verse 7.
For none of us liveth to himself.
There you go. That's the point. For none of us liveth unto ourselves.
Pressure.
You're not living for yourself. Read.
And no man dieth to himself.
And no man dieth in himself, because life and death is not in your hands. It's in the Lord's hands.
Yeah.
Verse 8.
For whether we live unto the Lord. And whether we die unto the Lord.
And that's what them brothers did. They died unto the Lord.
Yeah.
They rather chose death than to keep wicked law, wicked things that they say they did not do. I think one of it, if you know the story, they wanted them to eat pork, swine's flesh. They refused all of that.
Yeah.
So they died for the cause of Christ. They died for the cause of the Most High. They died for the cause of these laws. Is that it on that? Read it.
Whether we live, therefore, or die, we are the Lord's.
There you go. And that's the point. That's the point. Whether we live or we die, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So your life is not your own. When you live in this life, you live in this life unto the Lord. And we regard of everything unto the Lord. That's why we bless our food. That's why we bless our family. That's why we bless our day. Everything we do, we give honor and thanks unto the Most High. We don't esteem anything one day over the next. Understand the high holy days. We talking about the Passover. We call them high holy days. We understand that they high, but we understand that this is all through the auspices of the Most High, giving us his laws. That's what we're esteeming above all. That was it on that one, man.
All praises.
All praises.
Put that precept down here. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I seen this. Yeah, read this, ID. Go ahead.
Trump addresses the backlash over image he shared appearing to portray himself as Jesus. Boy, Trump is something else. This is the little image here that he shared. He had his AI team create. That guy's crazy. Wow.
Mm-hmm. The picture, it was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as the doctor, and it had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support, and only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
Man,
He
listen,
said
bro.
him as a doctor.
Listen, bro. Listen, bro, I'm gonna just keep it a bean, bro. If I
With
see
the
that
Cesare
picture,
Borgia outfit on, though.
yeah, I'm not saying that's Christ, bro. That picture is so effeminate and so weird. I'm not even looking at that picture thinking it's Christ, bro. My children would never look at this picture and say, "Nah, he's lying." Don't get me wrong. Right. He's lying. But my children would never look at that and say, "Oh, that's Christ right there." I'd be like, "Hey, y'all, who's that?" They'd be like, "Shit, Cedric Borgia," or I don't know who that is. The devil. The hell. Fuck. Man.
That's
Oh
crazy.
man.
I would never look at that.
And it's amazing, man, because when you see in it now, and it's like he calls it fake news.
The Post show,
but he says that he was dressed up like a physician. It's like, what are you talking about, a physician? That's nothing that a physician wears. Like,
Bruh.
why is he saying that, man? It's just he just says what he want to say, man.
He says what he want to say. He just know he could do that in this little period of time. He always said, too, Barack and Bush and them never took advantage of this seat that he's in right now. Even though before this seat, he still was a estranged. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, but that whatever, man. But that's cap. Hey, can you give me Psalms 58? Let's just let the audience see Psalms 58, man, so they can know what's going on with this guy right here, man. Because he said, "Oh, I was trying to, I was making a picture. That's like I'm a doctor, bro. What are you talking about? Listen, I don't care either way. I could care less either way, to be honest with you. I have no dog in that race.
Christ walked around and healed people. Is he trying to say he's the great physician? Is that
bro? Like Cedric Boy. Nobody looks at that picture in the big 2026 and said that's Jesus. That's Christ. Nobody, bro.
Man.
Like, come on, bro. Like,
bring it up.
Psalms chapter 58. Oh, it's not okay. Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Yeah, from the womb, these dudes are brought up to lie and to war, and they're brought up like this. Go ahead.
Right.
They go astray as soon as that they be born, speaking loud.
As soon as they're born, they go astray. As soon as they're born, they go astray, speaking lies. This dude is a liar. The wicked is liar, and that's just flat out. It's a terrible lie. But again, I don't have a dog in this race. I could care less. I personally didn't look at that picture and say, "Oh, that's Jesus."
Right.
We know, and like I said in the big 2026, come on, bro. We know that Christ is not that. That's not Christ, bro. Come on, bro. Chill out, y'all. Everybody relax.
The truth is coming
Anybody
out
that's
right
mad,
now.
we know
You
what's
can't
going
keep
on,
saying that. Yeah, that's dead. We know. Everybody know who that is now. He got different names. I've heard Cesar Borgia. I've heard all different, but everybody know that fake image of Christ is no longer Christ. We're not using.
Come on, bro. We know that, bro. We know that's during the Renaissance. We know you whitewashed it. We know, bro. All right.
Stop.
The gig is up.
The gig is up.
This clip of the Breakfast Club kind of shows the mind of some of our people who may think the false image of Christ is Christ. So, when most people watch the Breakfast Club. So let me just read the caption. Trump speaks out after AI-generated image that believed depicted him as Jesus, but insists he was posing as a perceived doctor and didn't apologize. Pope Leo has since criticized Trump and his administration since this was posted. That's how you know the world is on board with that false. Pope spoke out. So he saw it as him mocking the false image of Christ. The Pope did, and which they try to portray as the image of Christ. But now we're going to get the mind of Breakfast Club is kind of the mind of our people, if you will, through social media. Most of our people engage with this and have the share the sentiment thoughts, or these are not really their own thoughts, is what they're portraying, but they have similar thoughts.
President Trump depicted as Jesus appearing to heal a man with light coming from his hand. The AI-generated image, it drew immediate criticism, including from religious leaders and some of his own supporters. It was deleted about 13 hours later, but the president says the image was misunderstood. Let's listen.
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better.
His lies never made sense, but that one definitely ain't make no sense. How did he come up with that lie?
Not at all.
His lies used to be a tad bit better, but that made no sense whatsoever.
He just don't care anymore.
I seen the picture. He didn't look like no goddamn doctor.
He looked like he was trying to portray Jesus. That's what he looked like.
Exactly, and that's what everyone took it as. So Trump says he took it down to avoid confusion, but he did not apologize. And this all comes hours after the president took aim at Pope Leo, criticizing him for opposing U.S. military action against Iran. In a lengthy social media post, Trump called the Pope weak and said he was terrible at foreign policy. Now, the Pope has been calling for peace, warning against threats of destruction, and urging leaders to avoid further escalation. So yesterday, speaking to reporters while heading to a 10-city peace tour across Africa, the Pope says that he has no fear of the Trump administration and says that he's not looking for a fight. Let's listen.
I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loud against war, looking to promote peace.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe they were going to use their platform to say that he's portraying himself as the false image of Christ. You know, man, one thing that is very disappointing, I know we probably all have shared this thought at some point, you know, being in the truth. When they found out we are the true Jews and the descendants of the people of the book, scattered throughout the diaspora, they say they want to support Israel and support Jews, but when they find out it's us, they're not going to feel that way anymore. You know what I mean?
They're not.
They don't esteem
sure.
us like that. They and when they find out we are the children of God, they won't have that same feeling of sentiment to support. That's how much we're despised among them. You know, and it's just, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. The thought is crazy.
Man, and that is, now that you think about it, because I'm thinking about it from that perspective is, yeah,
Right.
if they all the information that's coming out, like who are the people? Well, we know that the people that's in there in that land right now aren't the people. But if you got to the point to where you understand who the people are, how the minds of the people would change. Remember, we was talking about one of the videos last week when they kept saying, he was talking about the ones that say that they are Jews and are not, but he said they're not Jews. Okay, but he was still asking who is. So now they're talking about this spiritual Israel. But when they understand, no, Israel is a people, because they still dealing with religion, y'all. This is what we're talking about. They're talking about religion. We're talking about a nationality.
Right.
Right.
So when you're talking about who are the Jews, you're asking who is Israel? Who are these nation of people? Who are these people? Who are they?
Right.
Of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes out to, I agree, man. It's going to be a lot of backlash when they find out the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true Jews of the Bible. Definitely.
And then and with the image of Christ. So why they don't want to portray the image of Christ correctly? Because we are despised among them. This is a similar story in that was trending. And I don't know if we played it last week, but this one right here, kind of still sticking with the imagery and things. Racism is not always black and white. This Indian man did not want his son married to a black woman, so he arranged for her to be killed. She had a 6-month-old baby at the time. This is a story of Sparkle Rhea. So this is the father of another one of these. His son was dating this young lady, and he had her killed. In April of 2000, 22-year-old Sparkle Michelle Ray was brutally murdered in her Georgia apartment by a contract killer hired by her own father-in-law. Cheeman Rai, an Indian immigrant, paid $10,000 to have his daughter-in-law killed because he could not accept that his son had married a black woman. Sparkle was stabbed and strangled with a vacuum cleaner cord while her 6-month-old baby daughter watched. She had been married for just 1 month and had given birth around the time of her wedding. When Cheeman first offered Sparkle $10,000 to leave his son, she refused. His solution was murder. 5 men were ultimately charged in the hate-fueled contract killing Cheeman Ray died in prison in 2022. But Sparkle's story remained a stark reminder that racism transcends simple black and white dynamics and can manifest in the most devastating ways across all communities. All nations, all those other nations are our enemy.
They hate us.
they try to
We
sell
can't
it
get away from it.
right, like he's a melanated man. This guy is East Indian. He's from India, and he had this
Man,
sister killed. You
yeah.
see,
And I
Mhm.
didn't mean to interrupt you, bro. What were you about to say?
That's it's similar to the previous story. When you join them, they despise and hate us. This
But
man, right?
they for sure hate us. And about the melanated part, bruh, you can't name me another creature that ain't melanated besides the Edomite.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hear it. I wish they would bring up that melanated crap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? But that dude right there, yeah, they hate us, man. And I'm not 100% sure why our people, you know, I spoke to Chezekiah, y'all, Chaz the other day. This
All
right
praises.
here just made me realize about that. Oh, these brothers love
Say
these other
dealing
nations.
with them other nations. Just that made them think about it.
You remember Chezekiah, ID?
Yeah. Brothers in the basement with him.
Yeah.
You said that made them think about them.
Hey,
these other
it's Elam.
nations.
Yeah, it's they just love these other nations.
Don't
Hey,
hand
is
join
Elam
in hand.
is Elam mentioned in Joel 3? Elam is mentioned, right?
Joel 3.
Oh, let me see. I think it is.
Let me see.
I know Tyree.
Okay, maybe they're not mentioned.
Maybe not. You probably thinking about
Psalms.
You think
83.
about Psalms 83. Yeah, Psalms.
Yeah, they mentioned in
83.
Psalms 83.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have Elam, but they have Gabal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, Tyre,
Okay, bet.
Asher.
So essentially, damn, Elam not mentioned.
Elam not in 83.
In Psalms
Okay.
83, he's not directly named. In Psalms
Okay.
83.
Well, nevertheless, we know that they hate us too.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Straight up, they hate us
Right.
too. It's not a nation on this earth that don't hate us. You understand? So with that said, man, like our people are destroyed, man. We
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not taking away from the death of our sister, man. I hate that this happened to our sisters, but to the people that's watching, let this be a lesson.
Let it be a lesson, man.
Stay away from these other nations.
Mm-hmm.
And back to that old Edomite just a second ago that we just watched the video on. I never called the Vatican owner or the Vatican ruler the POPE word, never. Like,
Right.
You're not the POP word, the word Pope just means father.
That's what it means. Call no man father, call no man rabbi.
Father. We are not calling that man father or rabbi. So he is not my Pope. I don't consent to that at all. But yeah, as far as this go, I pray for my sisters, man. My sister's family, man. Unfortunate, man. That's so unfortunate. But it's been a little trend, right? Am I tripping?
It has, man. With these interracial relationships, man. We might need to do a whole class on
research,
it, kind of deal with it, man. You know, because our people, they get caught up in it. You know, in the secular world now, how because we all have been Hellenized in our minds. And I'm speaking to when we say secular world or worldly, that's what we're talking about. You've been Hellenized. So your thought process is of this world. And because you want to be accepted by this world, you think that being part of them and joining hands with them will put you in a position where you will be accepted. You're never going to be accepted. They hate you.
Yeah, they made merchandise to you, man. You're the consumer for them. You're the consumer for their business.
That's it.
Nobody that looks like us is on a global scale doing business or anything. We are in the hand of our enemies wherever we're at.
Wherever we at.
Yeah. We're the only nation of people that teach our children, or for the lack thereof, are that to not deal with other nations, or to deal with, it's okay to deal with other nations.
It's okay.
Bump that shit. Every other nation and if you dealing with another nation and that other nation is okay with it, two things. They very, very deeply hate you. Somewhere deep down inside, they hate you. They don't look at you as a person. And number two, they're just a rebellious hoe or rebellious Negro that went against, or a rebellious person that went against their family's laws.
There you go.
Or their family's thoughts.
Yeah.
And usually that person that's in those relationships, man, you see those relationships, they're always fragmented. It's always a problem with the in-laws. Either it's on her side or they side. Well, I don't want to say Jake's side because Jake don't care.
Yeah, we don't give a damn. We such a lovely people.
Yeah, we
Oh
we
my
don't really care.
God.
But we can see where these other families they don't agree with that, and it's not racism. Like they would try to say that that's racism to want your people to be with your own people. That's not
Nah.
racism. You don't want a cat to be with a dog. You don't want a
No.
bird to be with a chicken. You want what that is like. A like seeketh like. You want
Yes.
to be with people like you, that look like you, that act like you, that talk like you, that got customs like you. Like that's what a culture is. People that
That's it.
think alike. So it's like,
That's it.
why wouldn't you want a homogenistic society where everybody is thinking the same thing and living the same way? Because that just creates less confusion. Anytime you have a bunch of different ideologies, a bunch of different nations of people all mixed together, you're going to get confusion. And our people thrives in this for some reason.
Right.
They love confusion. They love being a
Right.
part of it. They love being around it. They don't want to be away from it. So anytime we
Right.
bring out scriptures that clearly delineates separation and how
It's
you should
clear.
separate, they always come against it. And these are examples as to why when you try to mix and mingle, this is what happened.
Yes,
I got
this
one
is what
scripture I want to
happened.
bring out, ID. Let's bring
Uh-huh.
out Proverbs 11 and 21.
And why you looking for that? Why you looking for that, Rishayev?
Yes, sir.
Imagine the ample amount of wisdom and time and experience it took for our forefathers and our God to see that intermixing with these people is a bad thing
It's a
opposed
bad
to
thing.
something good. And you born and you just think you know it all. Just go in opposition of all of these forefathers and
Right.
these leaders' experiences. Like it's just like how much time was put in to prove that that dealing with these other nations are absolutely demonic.
You're
You just
not
go
the
against
exception,
it.
sister. You're not the exception, brother.
You're not.
Like the
Everybody
same
deals
thing-
with something.
Exactly.
Everybody look for somebody. A person might deal with lust, Rashaya. A person might deal with sodomy. You feel me?
Right.
A person might deal with. But guess what? If your hang up is dealing with these other nations, guess what? You got to fight that thing too. Just
You gotta
like
fight that thing
just like
too.
other people fight their other whatever
There you
they
go.
dealing with, their other sins, man.
Right.
Fight it.
Fight it.
Okay.
That's good.
This is Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 21. Though hand join in hand.
And see, this is what that hand joining hand. I read that because when you get married to the other nations, that's what you're doing. You're joining hands with them, and you thinking that for whatever punishment or whatever thing that is going to happen, this ain't gonna happen to me because I'm gonna join my hand. So the acceptance of what you're looking for from these other nations, though hand join in hand. Read.
The wicked shall not be unpunished.
The wicked shall not be unpunished. We know who the wicked is. So anytime you're in the midst of that, and this is why we always talk about this, bro. When you talk about you are who you hang around, it's the same thing. If you're going to join hand in hands with the wicked, the Lord is going to judge that situation. And if he judges that situation, what do you think is going to happen to you? You think he's just going to judge the situation and nothing's going to happen to you?
Right.
No, when he's not going to exonerate them, and usually you're going to be collateral damage from the non-exoneration that's going to happen in this situation.
Facts.
That situation we talk about is sin, dealing with other nations.
Facts.
Because whether you accept it or not, it's a sin.
But you know what, Rashaya, too, on top of that, if the fact that we sit up here and say that the so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans are the real children of Israel, and we can marry inside of that. Just if you really knew history, if you really was a smart person, you would know that if you want a light-skinned woman, we are a cake unturned. We go from the lightest, brightest
There you go.
to the darkest of darkest. What do you want? You can literally have is at your fingertips. What wife do you want? You want a light, bright wife? All praises. We go get you one. Light, bright, damn near white. Go get you one.
There you go.
In
Yeah.
our nation,
Our nation.
we have such a vast amount of our people, bro. I sat down and did the actual numbers based off of the census. I think it was 2020 census, I think, or something like that. Bro, millions of us, bro.
Right.
Millions.
Right.
Can't even number it.
I like using Pop's analogy. Pop, you always use analogy to speckled bird. We use the cake lantern, but we use the speckled bird. Because if you understand the speckled bird, like the speckled bird has various different colors, like over thousands of different colors. So you're not going to get one look with the children of Israel.
Many looks.
You're not going to get that look. So it's like when we asking them, okay, so identify what it is. You can't.
Right.
We're of
I
the
remember
sand
that
of the
argument.
sea. We're like the speckled bird. Like that's what we are. You can't look at the complexion and just go off of that alone.
Yeah, or the nose size.
Right.
Or the lip size.
Or the lip size.
Shape.
Right. But Israel, we got all the variety that you want, man. From dark to light to in between. You want thick, tall, big, small.
What you want?
Everything in Israel, man.
Everything in Israel. And it's funny because some of them some of our people were as dumb as the people that deal with these intermarriage relationships, these other nations. And guess what? Right. They had children with them. And they probably woke up. So they look like the other nations. So guess what? You can find somebody in Israel that look like the other nations. It's just no reason. The point that we're making is there's no reason to step out of your people. I'm not necessarily upset with the Elamite, the Indian man, the East Indian dude for hating that his son was dealing with another woman, another nation. I hate what he did to our people, and he got what was coming to him. All praises be unto the Creator, no matter what. However, what I'm saying to you is this: it ain't no reason for you to step out, bro, of our nation, bro. This is why our God's laws is important. This is why. There's so many things. Yeah. Hey, you remember ID? Remember Rashaev? What do we always say? One of the Creator's laws will turn the community upside down. Just one of his laws. If we listen and we did not deal with the other nations, we wouldn't be having this show right now. The topic of the show would be different today.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be different today.
Mm-hmm.
If we can just get this part of it right. So our people, man, like we always say, man, our people are a work, and they are work because they don't hearken. This is the curses. And a lot of times when my daughter and my sons, they always ask, like a lot of times we try to, well, how do we know? This is how we know. Like the curses are upon us as a sign and a wonder. Didn't we talk about that before? The curses have been poured upon us. So these things that we see, this only speaks to a certain group of people, man. This doesn't speak to everybody. When you go in that Jewish community, you think them fake Jews is letting a black woman come up? They hate to see
a black man with tassels on.
Man,
they don't even want to accept you in their religion.
And the crazy part is when I see them with them tassels on, I get mad. Like, what the hell is them, man?
What are you doing, stupid? Mm-hmm. Stupid, what are you doing?
It's crazy, man. But our people, we are work, man. We are work. And it's just something for Israel, man. We got to wake up. Wake up out of your sleep. Wake up out your slumber.
Christ was doing many miracles, and he still marveled at their disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing many miracles.
Think about that, bro. He was there creating.
Brett,
he marveled at his creation, bro.
Bruh, the politics of no, bump that. Go to John 11 real quick. The politics of his people.
Bring it up.
The politics of the church wanted to kill Christ. John 11, what is it, 45? What is it?
That's something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 30, what is it, 45, John 11, 45. Look at this, watch this. Listen to this. We'll destroy people. Go ahead, bro.
John chapter 11, verse 47. Then gathered the chief...
No, 45. I want 45.
45.
Yeah.
Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is the point. This is the point of the political breakdown of the church right here. Of why the politics of the church wanted to destroy Christ. Go ahead.
But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Jesus had done.
See, that's the politics of the church right there. That's the beginning of the politics, the Pharisees.
And hating on him is what they were doing. Call themselves telling on him, hating on him.
Yeah. Watch this.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? for this man doeth many miracles.
Man, this man, it was prophesied in the same scribes, in the same text, on the same pieces of paper. They knew their history. These Pharisees was masters in the law.
They knew the history. They knew it.
They knew that it was somebody to come.
Verse 48. If we leave him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Oh my goodness! If the Romans heard,
right,
because they set up the Herodian, they created the Herodian dynasty. They set up Herod to get rid of him. And they said, man, well, we got to get rid of this, bro. We got to. We need verse 49, bro. Watch this.
Remember, they tried to get him. They tried to get Christ when he was a baby. Like this has been happening since then.
Right.
And what is our point, y'all? Our point is our people are so destroyed that it's been. Look, man, they knew for a fact they was don't get it twisted. The Pharisees was masters of the law. They the ones who taught the Herodian dynasty the law.
Right.
They the ones who taught Herod the law.
Right.
Right. Man, I want to make a note on this to put in the minds of the people.
Bring it out.
Listen what they said. If we thus leave him alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Imagine you just seen him calm the seas. You just seen him feed the multitude. You just seen him bring a man from the grave, Lazarus, back to life. And you see God is working with him, and you scared of another men. The Romans, you just seen God work miracles through this man, and you concerned about the Romans
taking your place.
They're going to show you how such a stronghold each
of
them had in their mind. You were more scared of the Romans than God. If I just seen my brother bring a man who was dead back to life, calm the sea, I'm not worried about the Romans and nobody.
I ain't worried about none of that.
You don't worry about the Romans for, but that go to show the mind of them. They said the Romans will come. We just seen all these great things he did, and you worried about them. That's crazy.
The mind of the Negro.
Hey, I would have been sitting next to Christ.
Sure.
I would have been sitting next to Christ like, yeah, this is my brother. What's up? What's up? Yeah. You hear me? Hey, read 49, bro. Read 49.
Verse 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, and said unto them, ye know nothing at all. Consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. Right. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation.
Yeah.
Some sense there.
Yeah, he had some sense. But now watch 52 and 53. Watch.
And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that was scattered abroad.
Ooh. Watch 53. Watch 53. You understand that? And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that they were scattered abroad. Watch 53. Yeah, man, all praises.
Then from that day forth they took counsel together for to put him to death.
You see how destroyed we still were, bro?
Even after they seen all of that stuff, bro.
Even after.
We just talked about it. Just talked about read all the great things that
they still came and said, we still gonna put this man to death.
Wow.
Christ marvel. I just wanted to show y'all the extent of how Christ did all of these miracles, and they still wanted to kill him. They still didn't believe.
And I want the brothers and sisters to know these spirits are still among us. These spirits are still among us. And these scribes, they're still in the earth today, and they're gonna do the same order of businesses that they was doing back then.
Facts.
They still in the earth today, and you can recognize them once you bring out certain scriptures. They still don't want to.
They don't want to argue.
They don't want to hear
it. We didn't came across it, man.
Babylon. that same spirit is in the earth, man.
Yes, sir.
Nothing new is under the sun.
Nothing. Yes.
These things were written for our learning. You know.
That's what that woman was talking about in Maccabees, 2nd Maccabees. Yep. She was saying that, listen, I'll see you again.
Right.
Oh, the same man that you stood for is gonna give you breath and life again.
Give you breath of life again.
Right.
Oh man, he'll be back. So these spirits are back.
They back.
They back. All right, we go to the next video. My bad, y'all. I just had all praises be to the Creator,
let
man.
me read 55 just to put
Bring
in
it out.
since we're in the
Okay.
time of Passover. Verse 55. And the Jews' Passover was nigh at hand, and
Hmm.
many of them went out of the country up to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. Then sought they for Jesus and spake among themselves as they stood in the temple. What think ye, that he will not come to the feast? So at the time, it was the same time of year during the time of the Passover that we're reading about.
Yep.
Yep. All praises, man. All praises. Okay.
All right, next video. And if you're still with us, make sure you like, subscribe, make sure you follow us. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Again, make sure that when you're tuning in, you tune into your brothers. We live. We giving you the sense. We bringing out the scriptures. We giving you applicable things that you can use in your everyday life. If you want to reach out to us and you got questions, info@thecovenantbrothers.com. That is, again, info@thecovenantbrothers.com.
All praises.
Now, before I start this next video, a few classes ago, we saw the UN vote on reparations or the transatlantic slave trade, and that 3 countries, they all voted pretty much against. But
Right.
this law was recently passed, and this brother caught this on IG, and he's bringing this out. So this is some good information here.
Monday, Donald Trump signed into law the Holocaust Expropriated Art Recovery Act of 2025. It's a law that allows Holocaust survivors and their heirs to recover artwork and property that was stolen by the Nazis during the Holocaust. Now, just a couple weeks ago, United States, Israel, and Argentina voted against the UN resolution that made the transatlantic slave trade one of the greatest atrocities to ever happen. In defending the no vote, the U.S. representative said that if he would have voted yes, it would have created a hierarchy of crimes against humanity. But passing bills like this and also allowing the Japanese to get reparations, it seems as that has already been done. So when would America pay for their sins that was actually committed on the soil in which we still stay on today? On Monday.
Man.
Mm-hmm. But
See, you remember we watched that video. We talked about this at
We seen, yeah.
that to the UN
Talk about
table
this.
about the transatlantic slave trade being, looked at as
most
a
horrific.
crimes against humanities.
The most horrific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the most horrific, and they voted in the U.S. I think it was three nations voted no.
Yes,
like 52
Argentina,
of them-
U.S., Argentina,
Yes.
U.S., Israel.
Right.
All said no.
So they're letting you know, and the guy said that if U.S. said that they would have said yes. Think about this, y'all. The Holocaust, in which we talk about, which is something that they don't like to talk about, because they say that this is for whatever reason that they try to label that as the greatest crime against humanity. But when you think about it, they're getting reparations, and the U.S. didn't have anything to do with their deaths. You understand that? Like the U.S. is giving the Jewish people reparations.
Yes.
They weren't the ones that committed the crimes against the
Yes.
Jewish people.
Yeah,
The Germans did.
The Germans. Yeah.
So the Germans aren't paying reparations. America is paying the reparations.
Exactly.
Yeah, they paid Japan reparations too because they bombed Pearl Harbor. But the reparations was paid by America to the Jewish people.
Yes.
For Germany. And we are here we were the same, I'm going to say the thing, much worse happened to us. And they're saying no.
Yes.
And Israel said no.
Because we know who really run America.
Man.
Just saying that. Just
That's
throwing it out
deep,
there.
man.
And that is deep. And it's funny because you're essentially saying that the Germans should be paying reparations.
The Germans
And the United States should pay
reparations.
Yes, 100%. And taking a step back, you mean to tell me that Japan it was paid reparations for Pearl Harbor? Yes, okay, got you. Y'all did go crazy. Y'all went crazy. But y'all always fight against the so-called black man getting reparations. Always. Now,
Right.
I like to think, and I'm gonna just be 100% honest with you here.
Bring it out.
I like to think that you paying the so-called black and the black woman and man reparations will help in your favor anyway. Cause they ain't gonna do nothing but go ahead and make y'all more
We the
rich.
biggest
Go straight to
consumers. Yep.
BMW. Go straight
We
to
the biggest
Escalade.
consumers. We're gonna get all of that.
I just like to think that.
They're gonna put it back into the economy.
That's
Right.
I like
But
100%.
But you know what's powerful though? That
And you could
48
tax them on that dollar, Rashayev.
Right.
ID. You could
Right.
tax them. You could tax them on the dollar that you gave them.
Right.
But I don't know though. I don't know I don't know if I don't know what to call it. I don't know if refugee pay is taxable. I need to look that up because
taxable through consumer goods. Through
Consumer
sales
goods.
tax.
Oh, consumers, what you're saying?
Yeah, because that's a double
They're gonna be
tax.
spending money. Yeah, they go double tax.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, 100%. Now you just created. I don't know.
Gotcha.
You know, I'm not.
Gotcha.
The point is this, man. Man, all praises be to the creator, no matter what. Can we do a quick Google search? Are you able to bring up something? ID?
Yeah.
Are you able to? Able to? Okay.
Bring
and
it
this
up.
is with all due respect for. This is not bullying. This is all due respect for educational purposes only. Okay. We do not hate anyone. We leave that to the creator himself. All praises. We're not looking to harm anybody. We just want our people to be
Just
educated.
bringing out the facts. That's all
Yeah.
we're doing.
Can we see how many like, can we go to Google and see how many casualties or unalivings there were in the Holocaust? Very, very basic information here. Very, very basic information. Maybe I'm shaking the hornet's nest. Maybe I am. But them 7 brothers stood on the laws and said, "Nah, I'm cool."
I mean,
So
we
I
talk
just got to
about
see, man.
reparations, man. You get I know it's a controversial subject, but we got to bring it out.
You got to bring it out. All praises, man. Can we see it, ID?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. I was gonna pull it up in chat, and I guess they don't let you search stuff like that.
Why not?
Let me try again.
If you pay chat, you can. Hold on, let me bring it up. Butter them up a little bit.
Okay, I got it here. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
Here. Can you all see that?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
This is just for the casual listener, man. This is for the ones that might not do their own search or want to do their own search. You can blow it up a little bit. This is for y'all. If not, there we go. Keep going. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
The question you are asking is about the number of Jewish victims during the Holocaust. Estimated number, about 6 million Jewish people were murdered. Context: this genocide was carried out by Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler between 1941 and 1945 during World War II. Jews were targeted systematically across Europe, killed in concentration and extermination camps like Auschwitz,
Yeah.
Auschwitz,
Mass shootings, ghetto, starvation. Okay, got you. Okay, so 6 million. Okay. Okay.
And don't get in that's that word. We pass it up. Ghettos. You know what they call ghettos? You know, where we live now, it's called the ghetto.
Yeah.
But they call the ghetto where the Jews resort.
Yep.
So they were calling them They were calling them ghettos there. But what do we call them here in America? Where the Jews live at in the ghetto?
Right.
We ain't living in no ghetto. Those that live in we live in Cleveland. In Cleveland, where they at? They in Lyndhurst.
Yeah, facts.
They not down no way.
Where do we get that information from? I forgot, bro. Where do we get that Jews? The ghetto is where the Jews resort. Where do we get? What book was that? What clipping was that?
I think it was in
That was so long ago. But anyway, look, real quick. ID, can you search real quick right here in the Holocaust killing? Can you see how many men and women? Thank you.
Okay, it's giving 2 responses. I'm going to read response 1. The transatlantic slave trade lasted roughly from 1500s to the mid-1800s and involved large-scale forced migration. Key estimates: about 12 to 12.5 million Africans were captured and put on slave ships. 10 million survived the voyage and arrived in Americas. 1.5 to 2 million people died during the middle passage of the ocean crossing.
Okay, now let's reword it a little bit because chat ain't stupid. The question you're asking is about the number of transatlantic. Let's do this. How many? Can you put in there? How many so-called black men and women died?
Okay.
From
tell them to add the time. Tell them to add
from just put from 1500s to like 1800s, 1900s. Okay. Just put a time frame because that 2 million just on the way over here is BS. BS. The millions is in the tens of millions. If I'm not mistaken, the last time I've heard it was hundreds of millions.
You remember they brought them over here, but then they colonized all of Arsareth. Yep. So they got them too. These are Israelite people too.
Yep. Oh man, they got chat bull BSing us, bro. What's going on, bro? What's up, bro? They got chat BSing us, bro.
You know, you gotta tell chat, man, be honest, man.
Man, be honest, chat. Come on, chat. Like, what are we doing, bro?
Right.
Come on.
It isn't a single reliable number, meaning they probably can't even come up with the amount of numbers.
That many, but they was able to emphatically tell you 6 million Jewish people.
Right.
Come on,
man.
Enslavement
era. Let me be more specific.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Damn, man. And I ain't even disappointed. This is to be expected. Come on, chat. You gotta do better, bro. Stop the lying, bro.
And that what you was talking about, bro, is the definition. Remember, we used to pull out the definition of ghetto. So when you pull out the definition of ghetto, it says a part of the city often impoverished where minority groups are concentrated due to social, legal, and economic pressure. Historically, it is referred to as a segregated Jewish quarters in Europe, which is a lie. But where modern usage often describes as neglected inner city areas, the term can simply imply low class or trashy quality in slang. So we know what that means because that's what they called it in Europe. Go all the way back when Christ was living in Nazareth. We already know, for those that understand history, where Nazareth was. And they already know Nazareth was the ghetto because they said, could any good thing come out of Nazareth? When they found out that Christ came from Nazareth, what the hell is coming out of Nazareth?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was considered a impoverished place. It was the ghetto.
I'm gonna read this. After arrival, slavery in America. So this is after we arrived. No precise number exists, but millions died over centuries in America. A commonly cited broad estimate is 15 to 20 million total deaths tied to the system. So, and I believe that's a low ballpark.
Very low number.
Low. Yeah, very low.
Very. Just off of the numbers that we seen, 15 to 20, okay, bet. That still shows that there were more casualties during this particular period than there was in the other particular period. So why not? What about Hiroshima, Nagasaki? Is it, well, do we know how many casualties there were there?
Let's find out.
Because, I mean, what are we doing? We just giving out money, even though we're not looking to Esau to help us. We know y'all hate us. We don't expect nothing from you. Even though I think that personally that reparations will help you guys more than it'll help us. You know how many BMWs and damn Benzes will be consumed, bro?
It's about 80,000 killed instantly, 145,000 total deaths. So,
man, come on, bro.
Right. That's not even a fraction when you're talking 20 million.
Come on, man. It's not even a fraction, but we giving out reparations. Hey, listen, I don't look to y'all to save us. No green piece of paper can save us. No so-called white man that paint himself as Jesus can save us. Guess what? All praises be to the Creator. We got something for you, man. We got something for you. And you know what that is? The Bible, the awakening of the Israelites.
That's right.
You know, Christ returning is our reparations, and he told us the day of the Lord, he's going to pour out his fierce indignation on the demonic nation. So they're going to have more to pay. I don't believe they could repay us anyway. No amount of money is nothing they can do to repay us. We're the apple of God's eye. So
That's what it said in Joel chapter 3. And
Right.
what do you have to do with me? Are you going to pay me back?
You're going to issue me a recompense.
Right.
So the Most High God is going to return it upon their head, man.
Yes, sir.
And all praises.
All praises be to the Creator. Hey, would you want to read? Go to another one or get to the book?
Let's get to the book. Let's get to the book.
All praises, man. All praises. Now, this is the portion of the podcast where we speak about history. We just read about our history, just to enlighten our listeners and enlighten our people. All praises be unto the Creator. This is a book that This is a book that I purchased, Rashayev.
Okay.
It's called Black AF History: The Unwhitewashed Story of America by Michael Harriot, a so-called black man, a Judite. He seems and he looks like he's from the tribe of Judah. He could be from the tribe of Benjamin or Levi. I don't know. But yeah, this is the portion of the segment here. Black as fuck history, bro. All praises, bro. You ever read this book?
I never heard of it, man. I'm interested in hearing about it, man.
Very, very good read, bro. Very, very good read, bro. Man, the man breaks down periods of history that I was often confused about. He breaks down portions of history that I was confused. He gives it in more detail. And then there's our people talking to us. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't have to go in the dictionary every 7 seconds to figure out.
So is it like a Black Inventors when we start, like, because I got that book, like with Black Inventors, or it's just talking about the overall history of everything?
So
right?
he points out it's about 20 periods of I think it's about 20 periods of history that he points out. It's not religious at all. I think it's about, let me see. I think it's about 20. Let me see. No, it's 16. 15 pieces of history specific pieces of history that he points out. And it's a lot of pages. I think we had like, I think it's like it's about 400 pages.
Okay.
Pure detailed history. And
how thick is the book? Let me see it. Put in the camera. Let me see how thick that book is. Oh yeah, that's a good book. I need that one.
Yeah, Black AF history, bro. All praises, man.
Yeah, all praises.
It's a lot thinner than our brother.
Right.
Yeah. But this is a good one too, man. I love sure. Captain Hoshea.
Yeah.
All praises be to the Creator, man. Shout out to Captain Hoshea and his books, and Bishop Nathaniel and his books. All praises. All right. So, just to catch you up, Michael was given a story in the introduction in the first chapter about him and his Uncle Junior and how great his Uncle Junior was at storytelling. So now he's saying that he introduced him to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Thus the title of this chapter. Earth, Wind, and Fire reminded him of the times where him and his aunties, he was listening to his aunties and his uncles tell stories on the porch behind the screen door, because one of the most deadliest sins in a black household is to go in and out the house, and the screen door is slamming shut. So he made sure he stayed behind. He made sure he stayed behind the screen door, listen to his auntie and uncle. But his Uncle Junior, he wanted to be like his Uncle Junior at some point. And then he goes here into how that helped him with understanding history. That period of time, he made him understand history a lot more.
Gotcha.
So now he's going to go into the story about what happened during the Virginia and the Jamestown, or the Jamestonians.
The true origins of the American is intriguing enough without embellishment. A tale that includes cannibalism, cross-country adventures, and the type of brazen incompetency that almost doomed this experiment in thievery. But of course, to save face and maximize profits, the story was revised until we ended up with a swashbuckling blockbuster that we now know, filled with idealistic, barrel-chested white savior who immaculately conceived of a brand new kind of democracy with nothing but a few muskets and abundance of caucasity.
So you talk about the white folk. Yeah, you talk about the white folk, the pilgrims. Yeah.
The abundance of caucasity. Sprinkled in a few pilgrims, a handful of savage Indians for the diversity's sake. A few black characters who learned the value of hard work, through 400 years of free labor, and you've got yourself a hit. So he's using some humor in this first paragraph.
Yep. Now you're about to get into it.
The account of American creation was probably stared a group of Englishmen we now call Jamestown settlers in the safe for work fairy tale edition of the history of America. The English were a mighty empire who forged a new nation out of clay and ingenuity. Ingenuity. But had my Uncle Junior lived back then, he would have been like those guys, mighty. Nah. During their time, these so-called adventurers had garnered an international reputation for being unsuited for manual labor, let alone planning a new society. Do not obtain your slaves from Britain, wrote Roman consul Cicero, because they are so stupid and utterly incapable of being taught that they are not fit to form any part of the household of Athens. This incompetency would create the need for transnational human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't want to get manual labor from Britain.
Right.
Yeah, he was saying shit. He was saying that they weren't fit to be slaves, so they had to find some people that was fit to be slaves. And he was saying, let alone start a society, because in the further on in the book when we read, they died by a lot of things. The incompetency showed they died by a lot of things. So on the last page, it said will create the need for a transnational human trafficking infrastructure, as well as a reasonably believable cover story to justify the intergenerational dehumanization and theft committed by those so-called enlightened ones.
Right. Right. A believable cover story to justify it. The cover story. By the late 16th century, England and Spain were beefing over which version of Christianity was best. When James I ascended to the throne of England in 1603, James, a Protestant, was intending on thwarting Catholic aligned Spain's global dominance by getting in on the rapid growing colonization industry. In 1530, the English Parliament declared that the country had no superior under God other than the British King Henry VIII, who had split with the Catholic Church so he could marry his side piece.
Yeah, so he was talking about he funny, but this dude is funny. But all right, so now go to the next page real quick.
Okay.
We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. The next page, and then he's gonna go to is gonna say, aside from securing the rights to Virginia. Everybody that's listening, go ahead and just purchase the book, man. Very good read, man. Yep, you can start with the underlined it.
Aside from securing the rights to Virginia gold, silver, and copper mines, the first charter of Virginia charged the colonizers with propagating of Christianity religion to such people as yet lived in darkness and miserable ignorance of the true knowledge of worship of God, and bring the infidels and savages living in those parts to human civility.
Yeah, civility. So they were trying to make them civil. They were trying to make the Indians civil. You understand? Like they was gonna bring them Christianity and all this bull crap. But you gonna see when he start as you continue, you're gonna see that obviously that didn't help. That didn't work right off the bat.
And notice how they using these words, and I'm like the words that he's using, because they'll try to make it seem like they're giving us a civility, but they're using it to they're dehumanizing us at the same time.
Exactly.
So how is that? How could you make somebody civil, but the operation in which you're working is total dehumanization?
That's their definition of civil.
Right.
they're doing something different than their own definition. Yeah.
Docile is what they really trying to say.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna fight back. We get to the way he ain't fighting back. Then
right. It's very clear when he continue to read that, he gonna give real details on how the king, or I'm sorry, the leader of this particular tribe was not going.
Yeah, bring it out.
In other words, they were going to rob these people of their land, culture, and history. But in exchange for entire civilization, the Brits would introduce the natives to white church music and hats with buckles. Seems like a fair trade-off. No. On April 26, 1607, 104 English barbarians arrived at the gates of Tenzcomac, a territory in modern-day Eastern Virginia occupied by 31 individual governed tribes. Because they lacked basic geographical fluency and had enormous amounts of hubris, the whites considered the entire coast of North America from Canada to Florida to be Virginia and declared it their own. Ignoring
pumped. They was pumped. They was filled in their pride.
Right. Ignoring the fact that there was entire functioning civilization.
Hey, bro,
here.
I'm sorry, real quick. Let me show y'all too. In this book right here, the tribes of Israel, the 10 tribes of Israel, that's stating that it says, or the true history of the North American Indians, showing that they are the descendants of the 10 tribes. In this book right here, it gives a list of so many different tribes, and that tribe that he just mentioned, I want to make sure that we all see is in here. You can't see it here. I'll send a picture or I'll put it on the editing, but it's right here. So these are two different historians that came to the same conclusion.
They said the same thing, right?
Said the same thing. Okay, bro.
Mm-hmm. The whites considered the entire east coast of North America from Canada to Florida to be Virginia and declared it their own, ignoring the fact that there was entire functioning civilization here with a government that would not go down without a fight.
Bro, there was entire civilization already here that's telling you this. They're telling you this. Listen, what does the word Seminole mean?
Right.
Seminole Indian. The word Seminole means unconquered. The Seminole it was in Florida. The Seminole Indians were never conquered. They were the only tribe that was never conquered. That's what the word Seminole means. So now we go into today, and we see here what there were civilizations already there, already here. It's simple. This is why we don't look at that image and say, "Oh, that's Christ right there." No.
Right.
Go ahead, bro. This era was ruled by King Washinoshak, whom the white tribe.
So King Washianaka. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you King Wa. King Wa ruled this particular area.
King Washinak, whom the whites call Powhatan, which was actually a term to.
Hey, bro, you think I can go in this book? Hey, bro, I'm sorry. You think I could go in this book? You think I could find that way? Because King Wa was his name. He was over Powhatan. How you say this? Powhatan. You think I could go in here and find that?
Yes. Washinak.
Pawanese. Right there. They come to the same. This is a list of. I'm gonna send a picture, but this is a list. This is hundreds of tribes that were already here, and they all separated. It says it in this book. It says some nations divided and settled at a distance from each other, and after many years, their languages so changed as to form different dialects, as was in our days the case with the Irregis and Ohio's, who separated from the Tarakasas and formed a distinct dialect in the course of a few years. So, in so many words, hundreds of tribes were separated in America already. And we're going to read that in 2 Ezra 13 before we get off of here. Say they separated into different areas of America, in the Americas, and then they created different dialects based off of it. And all of these dialects in this book, guess what? Were Hebrew-ish dialects. Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
This area was ruled by King Wenashina.
We call him Wa.
Who called Powhatan, which was actually a term to use to describe Wa collective community. As soon as he received the word that some pale people were near the shore, Wa dispatched a welcoming committee to greet them with 20 or 30 arrows, as he had done with all previous boatloads of suspicious-looking people lurking around his neighborhood. After a brief melee, Wa boys retreated and decided to wait to make their move. From the moment Wa and his crew first encountered these pale-faced Philistines, the natives could tell there were going to be trouble. First of all, this group was going to struggle with food. The Mid-Atlantic region was going through the worst drought that had. Let me get the next page.
Oh, yep. Yep. That had been experienced in 700 years. Not to mention that their arrival in late April meant it was too late to start planting any crops anyway. Additionally, the spot chosen by the Jamestown colonizers was the worst real estate in the area. So they pulled up and they went to the worst real estate. So these colonizers or these pale-faced people, according to Wah and according to who Michael, the author of this book, pulled up on the sea, and it was the worst. It was the worst area, and it was in April. It was too late. I finished reading a little bit, bro, just to give you a little break. Can y'all hear me clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Although the brackish water surrounding the settlement on three sides offered protection, by June they realized that American mosquitoes hit different. They also didn't seem to know how hygiene worked, because for some reason they figured they could relieve their bowels in the same place they gathered their drinking water.
Damn.
These are the pilgrims. Remember,
Yeah.
he said in the earlier pages that they weren't fit to start a community.
Right.
You
Damn.
understand? This is why they had to go get the. Go ahead, bro.
I ain't about to say nothing. I'm listening to you.
They didn't know how to live. They about to get sick, man. They shitting in the drinking water and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Catch jaundice and all that damn shit. Yeah.
That is gonna mention that. All right. It says perhaps the Virginia company's biggest mistakes was who they sent, and it specifies that. So the Virginia companies was the companies of England that tried to settle in the Americas to get the gold, the silver, and the copper. But then we're gonna figure out later on in the pages that it was really fool's gold. It wasn't real gold. Okay. It was who they sent to conquer the new land. Unlike Portugal and Spain, who had a head start in the white people discovering things trend, England was relatively new to the colonizing game. Portugal and Spain had a class of explorers and soldiers whose full-time job was conquering instead of sending uncouth conquistadors. The British sent wealthy Protestant aristocrats to stake out the area, led by Captain Christopher Newport, and whose ranks included Captain John Smith. So the Captain John Smith was the dude, okay?
Jesuits is what you call them people today. Jesuits.
Yep. Thank you. A celebrated English mercenary who had been wounded in battle, captured, and sold as a slave. As a part of the British expedition, Smith was arrested for treason and imprisoned until the ships landed in Virginia and the crew unsealed the orders naming him as the leader of the colony. Despite his having no experience in farming, governing a colony, or leading a people, things were off to a wonderful start. That's him being funny, right? Watch this. Even the few laborers among the group were not accustomed to living off the land, which set the venture capitalists turned pioneers up for disaster. Would set them up for disaster, right? In this diary, Smith laminated that there were few bars, beer houses, or restaurants in newly stolen land. So they basically salty because there was no bars or beer houses or restaurants there. So they got dropped off, and it's like they're just there, forcing the adventurers to survive on boiled water and a pint of wheat and barley per day. Most of their grain supply had been stored on the ship for 26 weeks, providing a great, albeit unorthodox, source of protein. The worms that had infested the food stores, the worms that have infested their food was the source of protein that they ate. So they got dropped off, so they make it like they just came over here and just had a doozy.
And they ain't know how to live. They don't know how to do shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't know how to store no food,
Nothing.
use no food, cook no food, wash themselves.
Nothing.
But
And
they
another
teaching civility.
Yeah, and they teaching people. They taught them how to be civilized.
They're teaching civility.
Right.
And watch what it say about the King Wa too. It says, in another bout of hubris, when Captain Newport dropped them off and told them he'd be right back with supplies, the group seemed to forget how long that journey took, and it didn't even bother to try and plant crops. The hapless British aristocrats sat clueless in a new land, weathering away in the Virginia winter. We know how the up north winter is.
Man.
We know they didn't dress for that. Okay.
Hmm.
While the Powhatan nation luxuriated nearby in their heated homes. So the so-called Native American Indians were living in luxury in their heated homes, while the British was withering away in this winter up north.
So-called.
So-called.
Man, they don't.
Man, I'm almost done. Y'all,
and hubris, by the way, I like that he using that word a lot.
Yeah, tell me
hubris is extreme arrogance. So
Yes.
you can imagine somebody that think that they know something and don't know. You're shitting in water. You're doing all the things you shouldn't do, and you walking around like you know what you're doing, and we just looking at you do this dumb shit.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what they saying.
They sent
they
a
don't
bunch of
even know.
misfits over here.
Yeah.
They sent a bunch of misfits. He's looking for bars and restaurants and trying to cultivate a newly established land. You know, he sent a bunch of misfits.
Yeah.
And these are the people that ruled over us, man.
That's the people
These
that
are the
ruled over us,
people. These are the people, bro. Okay. And we're gonna read this in some scripture, man. We might go to 2:30, y'all. I'm sorry. We might go to 2:30 because I want to read a couple scriptures. We could be gone. All right, look. It says, while Newport was on his journey back, Smith was out discovering stuff that had already been discovered. So remember, Newport was the one that dropped Smith off. Smith was the one that got captured and was convicted of treason, if you will. So now it says while Newport was on his journey back, because Newport was going back to pick up the stuff that was supposed to keep the new settlers safe, like food and supplies and stuff like that. It says Smith was out discovering, meaning he was walking around, stuff that had already been discovered. So they're lying. They're saying that these things were already discovered. When one day he found himself surrounded by 200 Powhatan men. Thinking quickly, Smith attempted to use his native guide as a human shield. So he put his native guide in front of him. Like, come on, man. All right, it says, which didn't go over well with the guys with the arrows. Smith was shot in his thigh a little. That's what he got quotations there. So he got that from a different source. Shot in his thigh, original source. Shot in his thigh a little. Captured and taken to Wa, Paramount Chief Wa. He was taken to Wa. Paramount Chief Wa arrived at the interrogation session in style, wearing pearl necklaces. This don't sound like a uncivilized people to me.
Right.
It says, it says he was wearing pearl necklaces, a fur coat of raccoon. We know how the raccoons hit different up north too. We know how they hit different. Okay. It says, and entourage of advisors and young women, each with a great chain of white beads over their shoulders, their heads painted in red, and with such a grave and majestical countenance as drove me into admiration to see such state in naked savage. How are they naked savages? You understand that? So he's basically being goofy. But this is where we're gonna stop. And I'm gonna show you. After we read this little portion, we're gonna stop here, and y'all can buy the book. It's amazing. But I want to touch on some things real quick. Okay, it says Wa served Smith a heavy brunch and decided to let him go. As long as the white men kept their distance, the chief of chiefs believed the two groups could coexist in peace, which was a strange concept for Europeans because Smith was like, why did they let me go? I thought he was going to kill me. The natives had to be up to something. That's what Smith thought. They figured a theory advanced by Smith, who insisted that the natives were going to eat him until he outsmarted the king of savages and convinced Wa to let him go. So this whole time they're not speaking the same languages. He thinking that he was about to he thinking they about to eat him, and he outsmarted
they thinking they fattening them up that they eat them.
Yeah.
He outsmarted them to run.
Right.
Okay.
Damn.
Real quick. All praises. This is a good book, man. You can keep read. One day, man.
To get that.
Yeah, it goes into many stories like this. It's 15 stories that he break down like this. But good historian according to carnal history. But let's get Judges 2-1 real quick.
Okay, Judges 2-1. That was your note. Judges 2-1.
Yeah. Yep. Judges 2-1, real quick. And I
No
like to,
doubt.
we like to bring out this history, man, for our people, man, because sometimes, we don't know. Sometimes our people don't like to read. And
They don't like to
if you
read.
want to hide it from a
Put it in the
nigga,
book.
put it in a book. So we're unveiling the things that you might not want to read, or you might not even have the time to read. I know a lot of people, y'all eat bad and y'all be tired and sleepy, and y'all might not want to,
read 1 or 2 pages.
then you sleep. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and read for y'all, and I'm gonna help for y'all. Judges 2-1.
Judges chapter 2, verse 1.
So this goes into the mistake that he made, that we always made. It goes into the mistake that we've always made as a people.
And the
Go ahead.
angel of the Lord came up from Gilgad to Bosham and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt and have brought you unto the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you, and ye shall make no league with the inhabitants.
Hey, Wisdom of Solomon 2-11. Keep up. I'm gonna fly through these. Wisdom of Solomon 2-11. We ain't getting to 30 minutes. We ain't getting to 2:30. Yeah, only got a couple. Wisdom of Solomon 2-11. Watch this, man. And I want the listeners again to understand that, they want us. They want to hide these things in the book. Look, the title of the book. The title of the book is Black AF History: The Unwhitewashed Story of America.
Right.
Come on, man. They didn't tell y'all that we were civilized. We was taught that we wasn't uncivilized. We was uncivilized. Read what you got, bro.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 11.
This is why we should have killed him. Go ahead.
Let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be worth nothing.
Hey, listen, this is what they thought of us. It says, let the law of justice be our what, bro?
Let our strength be the law
of justice. Let our strength be. And who is that? That's the so-called white man that he let go. He let Mr. Smith go. Now, Mr. Smith ended up dying, and then they brought over a new leader that was way more vicious than him. And if you didn't bow down to him and kneel down to him, which King Wa didn't do because it was disrespectful, according to that tribe, as you read further into the book, and he ended up trying to burn. This is where you get them burning down the villages and the tribes and stuff like that. Because if you didn't kneel down to that particular leader, I forget his name. Guess what? He had a thing where he had a knack where he would just go in, he would just burn down the whole town. Because if you didn't agree to him, he just burn the town down. So I'm saying that to say, this is these people. Read 12, bro, real quick.
Same people.
Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous.
Oh, that just like in verse 11, it says, which is the feeble found to be nothing worth. That's how they looked at us. We were the weak. Why were we weak? We weren't weak because the Creator made us weak. Well, technically he did, but we were weak because we broke his commandments. He said, let us, is the feeble amongst them. And then it said, what is verse 12, bro?
Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous.
Let us lie in wait for the righteous. That's what he did. That's what they were doing to us. This is what the so-called white man does. Read.
Because he is not for our turn.
Because he ain't up for our turn. He ain't for us. Go ahead.
And he is clean, contrary to our doings.
Yes, he is contrary to our doings. Why? Why did them 7 sons die in the book of Second Maccabees? Because they kept the laws. They made sure that they didn't eat any unclean animal. You understand that? They're not at our turn.
Our doings.
Yes, and this is they're not at our turns. Why are we saying that? Because, bruh, don't get it twisted. We ain't looking for no reparations for them. We like to have a conversation. The conversation is fun, but we know damn well they ain't giving us no reparations. We ain't looking for no government assistance.
Right.
We ain't looking for the government to save us. We ain't looking for no president to save us. We got to save our dang on selves and keep the Creator's laws and wait for Christ to come back and save us from this bull crap. All praises. All right, verse 13.
He professes to have the knowledge of God.
Don't he? Don't he? Don't that man profess to have the knowledge of God? We just plainly seen it on the video today. Did he not paint himself as that? We know that's not Christ, but what did he try to portray?
Right.
Sitting in the seat of God as he is God.
Thank you. Where's NASA? Who created NASA?
Right.
Who created the plane? Who did these things? Who said that they went to the moon? Who said that they have no boundaries? They can change time and dates. Who is this man? Who could create clouds? Who could create false rain and say you can't collect any of it? Who is this guy?
Right.
Read that again, bro. One more time.
Bring it out.
He professes to have the knowledge of God.
And
he calleth himself the child of the Lord.
And he calleth, doesn't he do that? Doesn't he call himself, in God we trust?
He does.
Doesn't he do this?
He calls himself a Jew.
All praises. Now, real quick. Psalms 140 calls himself, that's fire. Thank you, bro. Calls himself a Jew. All praises. Yeah. Psalms 140, real quick. Psalms 140 and 1. We're gonna fly through these joints. I'm gonna skip them two. I'm gonna just get straight to 140 and 1.
Psalms chapter 140 and verse 1.
This is why we're going to read 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40. This is why right here. Watch.
Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man.
You understand that? Listen. This is why 2nd Ezra was even written. The northern kingdom of Israel wanted to run and flee. They fled so they could keep God's laws amongst themselves.
Right.
All right. 2nd Ezra 13 real quick. Time crunch. I know my brothers got to go do what they got to do.
I'll bring it out.
All praises, man.
2nd Ezra chapter 13.
Verse 40, you could just read it all the way through. Let's do it, because some of our people don't know that this is the northern kingdom of Israel that fled. This is why this book is even written. These 6 or 7 verses are the reason why this book is even written.
Right.
This is the northern kingdom of Israel that came over into the Americas. Read.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. So they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
So the 10 tribes went into the passages, they were going into another land, and I'm trying to rush it. I'm sorry, y'all. Went into another land, or they headed to another land. The Creator knew that was a rough passage, and he held still the floods. Right. He held still the waters.
Brackish waters.
Like the waters, all praises. The waters, the waves would get as high as the freaking 100-story building sometimes. Right. Come on, bro.
For through that country were a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
It took a year and a half for them to get from where they was at to the Americas. Read.
And the same region is called Ashereth.
That's why we say it's America, because if you read in the Jewish Encyclopedia, Columbus identified this man as America. Okay, this is why. This is the so-called Black history of the Black AF history book can even be written in that particular chapter, could be even spoke about, because these are our people. These are the 10 tribes of Israel that were in this land, the 9 tribes of Israel that were in the Americas before them. Real quick, Sirach 17 and 11. Sirach 17 and 11. This is why we did it. This is why they left that land to come into the Americas. So when we read Black AF history, we're reading about the same thing that we just read in 2nd Ezra 13. We're reading the beginning of it was 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. Our people were over here first. The northern kingdom of Israel was over here first. And guess what? Some of the Seminole Indians, guess what? Our people in general were over here first. I'm going to be honest, all 12 tribes. Let's be completely transparent. Why? Because the Seminole Indians consisted of so-called Black people as well. And the word Seminole means unconquered. Right. Cannot be conquered. They couldn't be conquered. These were vicious people. Go ahead.
Sirach chapter 17, verse
11. 17, 11.
Yep. 17, verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
You see that? Or the law of the law of life. The law is our heritage. The
our
law.
Heritage.
That's our heritage.
I like that. The words.
All praises. This is the reason why they got on that boat and they brought their behinds over here into the Americas. Read verse 12 real quick.
He made an everlasting covenant with them. And showed them his judgments.
He's made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them their judgment. Guess what? An everlasting covenant. Our judgment was captivity. We ran from his judgment. We ran from we tried to run from his judgment. We said to hell with breaking the laws. We're going over here into the Americas to keep the laws. Hence why you see so many so-called Native Americans infringes all the time. So many Native Americans. When you read this book here, it'll let you know that the parallels between Native Americans and the 10 tribes. A lot of them didn't even eat pork at all. No unhealthy, no unclean meats at all. Last two scriptures and I'm done. Don't. So when you open the first Maccabees 3 and 48. So guess what? When you read the Bible, I want you to understand one thing. It's our history book. Yep. First Maccabees 3:48. This is our history book. This is our history book. Matter of fact, give me Proverbs 30 and 6 before you do that. Yeah, Proverbs 30 and 6 before you do that. The Bible is our history book. Not only is this our history book, but guess what? Guess what? We are the people of this book, and anybody that tell you anything in opposition of what we speak about on this podcast or what you see our Israelite brothers out there speaking about besides the small little indifferences, just know that they're teaching you the wrong thing, and Proverbs 30 and 6 is going to back it up. Watch. Read what you got.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 6. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar.
Don't add to the word. Why? What am I saying? How would they add to the word? They told us that Jesus was a white man. They added to the word. They told us that the Israelites were white men, or are still white men and women that are in the land over there right now. That's adding to the word. They tell you that homosexuality is okay. That's adding to the word. They tell you that the laws are done away with. That's adding to the word. They tell you that the so-called angels were white men and different white species, if you will. That's adding to the word. That's
the Sabbath is Sunday.
Thank you. They tell you that the Sabbath is Sunday. That's adding to the word. Read verse 5 real quick.
Every word of God is pure.
That's it. Every word of God is pure. Word of God is pure. But guess what they did? First Maccabees 3 and 48 to prove even further that Revelations 2 and 9, Revelations 3 and 9, the synagogue of Satan is facts. They are the synagogue of Satan. Now, am I saying that our people are holy? Absolutely not. They're the reason why our people are the reason why we're even in this
we here. So we
trashy position. Absolutely. Right. All praise be to the scripture. All praise be to the Creator. This is my last scripture. All praises, man.
But we can say who they not though. We can say that.
We can say that. We can for sure tell you who they are not. They are not. And our people are destroyed. Don't get it just because we're telling you who we are and who they are not. Don't mean that we hate anybody. We're commanded not to hate them. Unfortunately, we're commanded not to, or fortunately, I'm gonna say that. But we're commanded not to hate them. So with that said, we ain't coming for no hate. We ain't trying to hurt nobody. We ain't no hate group. We ain't trying to kill nobody. We're not telling nobody to kill or unalive nobody. What we're saying simply is that we are all so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans are the real children of Israel, and this is our history book. We're bringing out books to prove it to you. People much, 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 much longer before us have been doing the same thing on different stances, on different social media platforms, in the streets, and all of that. All praises. Read what you got, because remember, Proverbs 30 and 6 said, don't add to the word. Watch what they did. These are your enemies.
Chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
You see what they did? They added. They painted the likeness of their images. They said, to hell with what that history book say. We're going to change it. And obviously they didn't read Proverbs 30 and 6 because we were commanded not to add anything to the word, and that's what they did. What's the point of bringing this out? The point of bringing this out is that, again, and I'll be redundant. I don't give a damn. I'll be redundant as much as I possibly can. Listen to me. We are the people of the book. We are the true Jews. We are the Israelites. Wake up. It's time for our people to wake up. Not only wake up, but stand up. Stand up. So all praise be to the Creator, man. That has been the history portion of this podcast. There you go, Rashad. You got it, bro.
All praises. I want to bring out a scripture, man, because you know how you get my juices turning. Every time you start bringing these scriptures out,
all praises, bro.
They start jumping in my head. So I'm gonna do this before we close out. Let's get Psalms 50 and 16. I want to bring this out because the bro kept bringing how they are all the time utilizing their way of trying to portray a story of what actually is happening. What we mean by that is they're trying to say what we aren't and what they were doing, and they were trying to bring civility, and they were doing this when the Bible is really what we're reading right here is that what the Bible is stating is that they were really the wickedest. because we
Right.
understand what they are and what they're doing. They lie in every narrative possible. We're reading right here, Black history. We're hearing from a whole totally different perspective, things that are happening and how our people were not as what we think. We think that these were all weak, slowly Indians that didn't know what to do and didn't know how to live and didn't know how to make it and didn't know how to, and we're not, it is none of that. It was almost like we were a superior nation of people. And they wanted to come over here and learn our ways. And to learn our ways, after they learned them, then they overthrew us. Because that's what they do in every nation that they do. But I want you to bring this out.
Psalms chapter 50 and verse 16. But unto the wicked, God saith.
But unto the wicked, God saith.
What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst takest my covenant in thy mouth?
Because if we look at it today and we read it and we understand it, when it says taketh they statutes, do they not do that? Do not when we say Caucasian men, they walk around talk about Christianity, do they not? They take the Lord's covenants in their mouth. And then you got who their allies is Israelis, who walk around saying that they're the people of God and take God's covenant and statutes in their mouth. One is using the New Testament to take into their mouth and say, this is Jesus Christ and we're following his way. One is using the Old Testament and saying that we don't believe in Christ, but we're going to take this and we're going to use the Bible and we're going to use these words. Both of them is using God's words and taking them into their mouth, and they don't have no way to declare his statutes is what the God is saying. Read this again, start from verse 16.
But unto the wicked, God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst takest my covenant in thy mouth?
Verse 17.
That thou hatest instruction.
Why do they hate instruction? Because they hate instruction because they really don't keep these laws. That's what my brother was just bringing out. They're going to say one thing and they're going to do another. They're not going to keep none of these laws. They're going to add to the laws. They're going to add all these different things that we're talking about to these laws. That's why you eat pork. That's why you worship pagan holidays. That's why you do all these things, because they take the Lord's word in their mouth and then they hate his instruction, because they do his instruction means they do the opposite of what they're doing. What are you doing?
And casteth my words behind thee.
And cast them as nothing. Read.
When thou saw a thief, then
no,
thou.
That was it on that. I just wanted those two. That was it on that. But that's what they're doing. They're taking the Lord's word in their mouth, this covenants that do not belong to them, and they're using them to colonize our people. And not only that, to give you a false narrative of what things is going on, and then to put their selves in that place.
Right.
And have you thinking that you've always been dilapidated, broke, you need civility, you ain't got nothing. We here to help you.
Right.
And it's nothing far from the truth. Wake up, people. Wake up, Israel. We admonishing you to wake up out of slumber. And your brothers is teaching you today the word, and we bringing it out. Thus saith the word of God. And we're using outside credentialed things that are actually able to solidify the things that we're talking about today. We ain't adding to the word. We're solidifying what thus saith the Lord. And we're using things from the outside to solidify what we're saying through historical evidence. So we asking that you, the covenant brothers, is saying, wake up, follow your brothers on like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on IG. Make sure that if you got more questions like things like today, reach out to us. info@thecovenantbrothers.com. And you can get this information that we got for your brothers. We here, we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.
All praise.